feedback. Email your comments to wdev@radiovermont.com. Energy.
So the barber trims my beard all nice, like an artist. Now, I didn't tell him to do that. I wanted the beard gone. So then I went home and shaved it off completely after I was done. I felt horrible.
The passion.
Rafael Devers is the biggest contract in franchise history. He needs to be a leader for this Red Sox team.
The opinions on all your favorite teams.
Are the Patriots close to playoff contention? Yes. Are they close to Super Bowl contention? Hell no.
This is the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday here on the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM and FM and WDEVradio.com. I'm going to give it to you straight. We got to get through a bunch of things here quickly. We're going to have Tom Caron, our Red Sox insider over at NESN, with us here at exactly 5:45 today. So we got to get to TC right on the nose at 5:45 as we get ready for Red Sox baseball. Sox taking on the Cleveland Guardians. You can get in on the Ayers Auto text line, which is 802-585-3026. We're brought to you by Fecto Homes, your total home solution in Montpelier. The opening thoughts on the Brady Farkas Show are brought to you by Sticks and Stuff and Swanton Lumber, Vermont's most complete locally owned home center. Locations: Enosburg, Derby, Middlesex, St. Albans, and at Swanton Lumber, now in Rouse's Point, New York as well, and online at sticksandstuff.com. The report from Albert Breer recently is this, that Bill Belichick and Mac Jones are not really talking. Okay, they're not really talking. And that basically Bill Belichick tells things to Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien then takes things to Mac Jones. My question for you, is that a big deal? Your head coach and quarterback not really speaking. Okay, it doesn't mean they don't exchange pleasantries, but I mean, when it comes to football, everything is done through Bill O'Brien and they are largely away from each other. Is that a big deal? Michael Holley of NBC Sports Boston says yes.
About it right now. And I usually don't like owners coming in to get into football operations matters. This is a time for Robert Kraft, Jonathan Kraft, Harry Kraft, everybody. Get in there, talk to Bill Belichick, make him talk to his quarterback. Now, I'm with you, Jones. Last year, I wanted Bill Belichick and Matt Patricia and Joe Judge away from Mac Jones. But that's...
I'm here to tell you I actually don't think this is that big a deal. I am surprised that I feel that way. I think 9 times out of 10, I would be here to hammer the Patriots about this and hammer Bill Belichick and the relationship and all that. I would be here to hammer it. But today, I don't think this is that big a deal for a couple of different reasons. One, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. Last year, I asked Bill Belichick to trust people, right? I said last year a bunch. I don't think Bill Belichick trusts a lot of people. Bill Belichick tries to do everything because he just doesn't trust a lot of people. Bill Belichick this year is trusting Bill O'Brien. That's what I've asked him to do. I have asked him to find coaches that are competent. We believe that Bill O'Brien is that. I have asked him to empower his coaches. It sounds like Bill Belichick is doing that. And I have asked him to allow his players to grow without watching over them in everything they do. And that sounds like what this is. And look, everybody wants the coach and quarterback to have a great relationship. Like Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid have a great relationship. Joe Burrow and Zach Taylor seem to have a great relationship. Brian Dable and Daniel Jones. That is important. Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. That is important when your head coach is also the offensive play caller. Bill Belichick is not that. Okay. I have often advocated for head coaches to just be managers and to delegate things, right? A lot of the problems with NFL head coaches is that they want to do everything. right? Like they want to call the plays, they want to run this, they want to run that, and they often lose sight of being the head coach. I have often advocated for head coaches to just be managers and to delegate things to their positional coaches and to their coordinators. That's finally what this is, at least on the offense. I have to be okay with that. Okay, you might want it to look like it looks for Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford. It's not a reality in New England, or it doesn't have to be, because Bill Belichick doesn't call the plays. So Mac Jones and Bill Belichick need to speak during the season. Of course they do. They need to talk about game plans, and Bill O'Brien needs to be in there, and they need to go over film together, and Mac needs to be able to pick Bill's mind about defenses because that's what Belichick knows so well. That is very true. There does have to be some communication. But right now, for the beginning of June, I'm not worried about this at all. This finally sounds like a setup that I want. Bill Belichick being more of a head coach, or at least skewing himself towards the defense, and Bill Belichick trusting and empowering his coaching staff and putting his players in a winning position with a good coaching staff. This sounds healthy to me. And Adam Jones at WEEI didn't buy it, and Holly didn't buy it, but I'm actually okay with this. I am actually okay with this. Virginia in Starksboro says, sounds like Belichick's relationship with Brady, how'd that work out? Now, it's interesting. Freddie Coleman and I spoke earlier today. And Freddie from ESPN Radio, we speak to him every Wednesday. That interview is going to be up here momentarily on our podcast channel. We did it kind of right before the show. TC is going to be live. Freddie, we taped in advance. I actually thought that Bill Belichick and Tom Brady spoke a good amount. Now, again, Josh McDaniels was the guy in charge of things, but I thought at least that Brady had the relationship to go to Belichick's office and talk with him about film and game planning, etc. And I'm not saying he tried to overrule McDaniels or go around McDaniels, but just that he was comfortable to go to Belichick and talk a little bit. Mac Jones needs to get there. But Mac Jones does not need to be in a spot where him and Bill Belichick are yucking it up on the sidelines, where they've got their arm around each other, where they're smiling and throwing great platitudes at each other in press conferences. I don't need that to be the case. If Bill O'Brien is as good as everybody tells me that he is, then Belichick can give directives. O'Brien can take and understand those directives and give them to Mac Jones and trust that they get executed. If there's something lost in translation, then we will have a different problem to argue about. Either Bill can't delegate correctly, O'Brien can't interpret correctly, or Mac just can't execute. If something gets lost in translation, we will have something to gripe about. But I don't think that something is today. This finally sounds like what I've wanted. Bill Belichick to have a competent offensive coach, an offensive coach who can be empowered, who can be trusted, who can go off on his own and run things his own way, can take what Belichick wants, but also apply it in his own manner. And then a quarterback who can just take the directives from one voice rather than 19 voices like a year ago. This sounds healthier to me. It's the Brady Farkas Show, brought to you by Fecto Homes on WDEV, AM and FM, and WDEVradio.com. Red Sox won last night. Final score was 5-4. Tom Caron, our Red Sox insider over at NESN, he is going to be with us next. We're going to get to him just slightly before 5:45. He'll be with us next here on DEV. We're brought to you by Fecto Homes, your total home solution in Montpelier.
Are you looking to get rid of your used mobile home? Here at Fecto Homes, we don't just sell new mobile homes, we also buy used. If you have a used mobile home that you are looking to sell, we can either accept it as trade and apply the value to a new home with us, or purchase it outright. We offer fair prices and quick removal of your mobile home. So reach out to us for a quote today. Fecto Homes, 350 River Street, Montpelier, or visit us at fectohomes.com for more information.
Attention Vermonters, the Push It, Pull It, or Tow It sale is back at Memorial Valley Chevy. Tell them, bro. At Memorial Valley Chevy, business is rocking. And with a massive selection of new Chevy trucks and SUVs in stock, and over 50 more arriving this month, business is totally back to normal. We have taken in several clean one-owner car, truck, and SUVs, including many Toyotas, Hondas, and Subarus, and we've got to sell them them down. Through the end of June, anyone can post forward sell any single trade to Memorial Valley Chevy and get a guaranteed $1,000 minimum trade allowance towards any new in-stock Chevy unit on our lot. Memorial Valley Chevy will triple your minimum trade allowance to $3,000 towards any pre-owned car, truck, or SUV on the lot. Memorial Valley Chevy, we have a huge selection of certified pre-owned trucks and SUVs that come with better than new 100,000-mile warranty, and you can get a guaranteed minimum trade allowance of $3,000 on these vehicles too. So get to the push it, pull it, or tow it sale happening right now at Memorial Valley Chevy, just past Sewell Morrisville in the beautiful town of Hyde Park, Vermont. And remember, at Memorial Valley Chevy, we know price matters.
The WDEV studio is sponsored by Sticks and Stuff and Swanton Lumber, Vermont's largest independent home center, powered by Marvin Doors and Windows. Go to sticksandstuff.com for store locations and hours.
Vermonters depend on AM radio for their news, traffic, weather, sports, and a community connection. And AM radio is the backbone of the emergency alert system, keeping you safe in dangerous times. Hi, I'm Steve Cormier, the general manager of WDEV. Some automakers are taking AM radio off the dashboard, so you won't be able to listen to WDEV AM in your car anymore. If you want to keep AM radio in new cars, text AM to 52886 or email Senators Welch and Sanders and ask them to sign on to the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act. With more ways than ever to connect to news, traffic, weather, sports, and entertainment, 90% of new car buyers still want the tried and true AM/FM radio option. AM radio is dependable, free, and provides a local connection that can't be replicated. Plus, it's the backbone of the emergency alert system to keep you safe during dangerous times. Remember Tropical Storm Irene? WDEV AM is here to serve you, and we at the Radio Vermont Group take that commitment seriously. If you want AM radio to continue to be available in cars, text AM to 52886 or email Senators Welch and Sanders and ask them to sign on to the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act. This message furnished by the Vermont Association of Broadcasters.
The Brady Farkas Show now has an interactive text line, so reach out now at 802-585-3026.
Now it's back to the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM, FM, and WDEVradio.com.
Call strike.
Hey, WDEV.
AM and FM, WDEVradio.com. Up until 6:10 today, Red Sox Guardians. Sox looking to build off what was a really solid series opening win yesterday in Cleveland. And joining us now is our Sox insider over at NESN, Tom Caron. TC, how are you?
Doing well, Brady. How you doing?
I'm doing well, but not as well as you. A little proud dad moment for you the other day. I'm listening on Monday, or I'm watching on Monday to NESN, 8th inning or so, and Dave O'Brien's in the booth and says that Robbie Caron, RC, is helping out with production. Is RC in the family business now?
He was for a day anyway. We had the rain out on Friday, and what happens is with our crew, all of a sudden you drop a Monday afternoon 4 o'clock makeup game, and not everybody can get to work that day. We had a lot of freelance crew on the games, and so they were scrambling to get people, and Robbie's been around forever. He just graduated from college, he's hanging around, starts his real job in July. And so they said, can he be the stage manager? So he jumped in and did a great job. And yeah, for a day we had the family business being passed on. But he told me long ago he's going to get into sales because he wants to make money. So I can't argue that. So go get him.
No, certainly can't argue that for sure. Can't argue that yesterday was a good Red Sox win, right? Offense was stagnant early, but they get going late. Casas with a big knock. I know it didn't score Turner directly, but they end up working a walk there, and then they add on a couple runs. I think that was in the 7th. Bullpen a little shaky in the 8th, but maybe it was the 8th the Sox scored. But Jansen locks it down to the 9th. An encouraging win here after a discouraging series with Tampa.
Yeah, because you know what, it was drama free, and that's what we're looking for right now for this team. A little less drama. They didn't boot the ball around. Paxton, you didn't know how deep he'd be able to go. Right, first inning was rough, gives up a couple runs. He's having trouble settling in. Then man, did he get locked in? And he said, "I've been feeling stronger as games go on," and that is such a great sign. We had 9 strikeouts last night, 24 swings and misses. I mean, these are career high numbers for him in swings and misses. So that fastball is playing big time right now. And, Fred was texting me during the game, like, well, when does he get injured, like Sale. But, when you watch for Sale, it's so max effort, that you do almost hold your breath on the pitch. Paxton, and you watched with the Mariners back in the day, like, he's just so free and easy. It's such a fluid delivery. He doesn't look like he's maxing out on the effort at all. So I thought that, for him to keep it where it was, when the Red Sox had scored whatever it was in 5 of 24 innings or something ridiculous going back to the Tampa series, and, for him to keep it at bay, to lock it in where it is and wait for your bats to wake up. And then for the bats to wake up. And for you're in a position where Ref Snyder has to hit against a righty, which isn't really his role here, and just a nice opposite field base hit. A lot of little things came together. Ref Snyder made a really nice catch back there on the warning track. Casas driving the ball that way. If he's starting to wake up now and unlock his power, Duvall comes back this week. And a lot of things, again, we've all calmed down since the 8-game winning streak. Okay, we know that. But last night's one of those games. You got your butt handed to you over the weekend against Tampa. You lost 3 out of 4. You heard the boos. You were sloppy defensively. You're beginning a road trip that's going to end at Yankee Stadium. You're down 2-0 for a lot of that game. You lose that game, you're back under 500. You're falling off every pace. That was an important win last night.
I know where the Red Sox are in the standings. I know they're frustrating to be just kind of constantly hovering around 500. But relative to the expectations at the beginning of the year, is this kind of what you expected?
Well, go back to what we expected in training camp. I said 86 wins, which most people thought was crazy. I actually said 84 to 86 wins, which people thought was crazy. The line was 78.5 or whatever it was. And that's kind of where they are, right? They're a game over 500 that projects out to about that. If you're on the 86 side of that range, you're going to be flirting with the wild card spot. If you're 84, you're going to be out. I think every team that had 87 wins last year made the playoffs. So, I mean, you're right there. That's what I thought they would be. And I still think they're going to be. Now, the problem is the timing of it, okay? A month ago, you're feeling really good about this team, and you're starting, what could they add? All of a sudden, you watch them lose all these games. Man, if they go on this road trip and lose 5 out of 6, now you're going to be going into July talking about who you're selling off. And it's going to be another retool. So this, June, you always say the first third of the season is to figure out who you are. I don't know if we figured out what the Red Sox are, but I know that June is going to tell you which way they're going to go in the trade deadline. And if you want this team to be a team that's going to hang around and make a push, you got to win some games in June.
Red Sox insider Caron of NESN with us here on the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV, AM and FM at WDEVradio.com. Yesterday, I was talking about the decision to DFA Tapia, and I didn't think that it was necessarily necessary. I thought that the team was going to option Casas and play Turner at first and have Duvall and Yoshida rotating in at DH, and I thought there was room for Tapia still. I had kind of yesterday forgotten about Ref Snyder as I started going here. Is it just that it came down to too many outfielders, and that's why Tapia is the odd man out?
I think so, because I was pretty confident they were not going to make the Casas move yesterday. They really are committed to letting him be the first baseman of this team. And I thought either A, you move an infielder, but maybe Valdez. I mean, he's been good. I know, and he's hitting. But with Arroyo coming back, I thought that was an easy move. And then you keep all the outfielders. Or B, you go Duran, who's been slumping, but of late has kind of started to look better at the plate again. I was caught by surprise. I know Alex Cora loved Tapia. The guy's hit straight through and is one of the better pinch hitters in all of baseball right now. And that's a really hard skill set and a valuable thing to have on your bench. He's also one of the fastest guys in baseball. His sprint speed is top 5 percentile. And so with this, game today where stealing is so important, I thought I was surprised it was Tapia, but I think you're exactly right. With Duvall coming, another outfielder, it looks like as soon as Friday, you had to clear out some room. Maybe an infielder goes now when Duvall goes, but you couldn't have Duvall and Duran and Tapia and Ref Snyder and Verdugo and Yoshida. It's just too many outfielders.
It's interesting. I think it was on Monday, and I heard it from you first, that Alex Cora said that Trevor Story might come back before he's ready to play defense, and he might be used as a DH exclusively until he's ready to play defense. And I am ultimately fine with that. Getting his bat in the lineup is good, but it does kind of screw the Red Sox and what they like. They like to have the positional flexibility. They like to have the DH rotation. They like to hide Yoshida when they can. If Story's going to come back and take that DH spot, they are going to lose all of that flexibility. Are they prepared for that?
Yeah, I don't think they are, and I actually don't think they will. I mean, we kind of dug into that with Cora a little bit more later, and he made it pretty clear that will only happen if the roster says it can. They will not bring Story back sooner as a DH, frankly, if everybody's healthy. If Duvall and Turner and Casas and Duran are all here, Story's going to have to spend extra time in the minors until he's ready to come back as a shortstop. And he didn't say those words exactly, but it seemed pretty clear that that's what he was indicating, because they're not going to sit Justin Turner. They're not going to sit Adam Duvall. They're going to need to get all these guys in there, and if that means a few extra weeks in the minors getting ready to be able to be a shortstop, then that's what it's going to be. I think his point was, as we all know, injuries happen. We've seen it over and over. Turner gets injured. If Casas is struggling so badly that he gets sent back down to the minors, then you might have a case where Turner's at first base, Story comes back as the DH, and away we go.
Baseball nerd question. As I do every June, I get into the College World Series. I love college baseball around this time. Evidently, the Red Sox are also going to be into the College World Series because it's so tied into the draft, which is coming up around the All-Star break. So you're at this kind of weird intersection of things for the organization where they're getting ready so heavily for the future when it comes to draft prep, but they're also looking at now, thinking about what can we do for this team. How do Chaim Bloom and Brian O'Halloran and company handle that dynamic?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny, too, because they pushed off the draft now to be part of the All-Star festivities, right? So the draft is right before the trade deadline. It's like 2.5 weeks apart, which really isn't great for baseball ops. It's good for hype, which is what baseball wants. And so, yeah, it's really just, I am ultimately fine with it. Top 5 here, that's what he was indicating, because they're not going to sit Justin. It's really just, the segmenting parts of it's all over these
Media game against each other. That apparently is happening.
Just how dialed they are on what's happening now. But ready to, talk to players. And I mean, again, they're so far down this road now, they kind of know what they're doing, but it's tough. The timing of it is really difficult because a lot of that front office, every front office,
question. Each of the last 7 years, never have done it. I'm going to ask you now. I just learned this, a couple of years ago when I got here, that the Red Sox and Yankees media have an annual media game against each other. That apparently is happening this Friday, I believe. Have you ever played in the media game? What is it like?
I never played in the media game.
How is that? Is it invite only?
So way back when I was the full-time sideline reporter and I traveled with the team, it was a completely different thing. The legendary late Carl Bean, who was the PA announcer and also worked on radio here, he ran it with it was like a Hall of Fame vote. Like you had to be X number of years on the beat, you had to travel with the team, and I had enough going on in my life. I never really pushed to be part of it. I figured I'd get my chance. And then I get moved to the studio, and because I'm not at Yankee Stadium Friday, I'm in studio, I can't play. So they play a home and home. They play one at Yankee Stadium, one at Fenway Park. It also, back then, was really serious. Like, they had guys who were like college pitchers who are writers now, guys who could throw. As I understand it, the quality has dropped off tremendously. I know, and I don't want to make excuses for my Boston brethren, but I know there's a numbers. I heard there's only 13 guys available to play in Friday's game at Yankees Stadium. And the problem is, inevitably, and this is why part of me is kind of glad that I've never been part of it, the coaches all end up going early enough to watch the game. They all sit around in the dugout and laugh their butts off watching these writers try to play baseball. A long time ago when I was playing at like a men's hockey league, 10 o'clock beer league, my kids play hockey, and one of them was like, "Hey, can I come watch you play?" I was like, "Absolutely not. If you ever watch me play hockey, you'll never listen to a word I say about hockey again." So part of me is kind of glad I never did this. I've played in softball games and football games at Fenway Park. That's enough to get the. I don't like the Boston chances in the media game on Friday.
Rob Bradford said he went 7 batters his last time on the mound, did not get him out.
Jermaine Webster, he's got more confidence than anybody I know, the NESN reporter. He had never played in it, and he was the starting shortstop because he told them, "I'll be the shortstop." And I think they assumed he had more experience there. But he's an athlete, he's in great shape, and he's a he didn't play shortstop the whole game. I know that much. So, see, that's what I don't want, because then we rip Jemai mercilessly, right? That's going to be part of it. I'm too old. I missed my window of opportunity. If they do an old-timers media game, remember how the Yankees used to always have the old-timers game? So if we have an old-timers media game before the primetime media game, I may come out of retirement for that.
Jemai Webster doubling as Kike Hernandez, apparently, in these games.
Absolutely. Tom Caron, our Red Sox insider at NESN. I got him out of here exactly when I said I would. So good stuff with TC. Yeah, the media game. I would love to be a part of that. I know I'm not in the Boston media, but could we expand it to New England media? I want to play. I want to play in the Red Sox Yankees media game. Can we expand it to New England media? I will not be as cocky as Jemai Webster apparently is about it, but I just want to play. I think it would be fun. I could be the ringer. Okay, ringer from New England. I mean, I'm sure they've got people from Jersey that are there covering the Yankees that end up getting to play. Let's expand it out to New England. I want in. So I want in. Ayers Auto text line 802-585-3026. Yeah, I was a little bit overzealous yesterday in my Tapia talk. I was kind of forgetting about Ref Snyder yesterday. And I guess it was just too many outfielders, right? Like, I still think Casas could benefit from being sent down, but even if you did that, there are a lot of outfielders. If you had sent Valdez down, there's a lot of outfielders in between Duran and Yoshida and Duvall and Kike who can play there and Verdugo and Ref Snyder and Tapia. It is too many. And it's too bad because Tapia really did do a good job for this team, and he'll get picked up by somebody, and evidently he'll probably have a chance to go and be a real contributor. He'll have a chance to be a real contributor here down the stretch for somebody, and I hope that it's a contender because he really was really, really good. Still no updates on Chris Sale, by the way. We had heard last week on Friday that we hoped to hear by this week. Well, here we are. We're halfway through the week. We haven't heard yet. So see if we can get an update on that, here in the next 2 days or so, because I want to know just how bad it is for Sale. Now, I don't think he's going to miss the season, but I would be shocked if we saw him before August. I would be shocked if we saw him before August. I don't think necessarily it's going to be a season-ending injury based on kind of the tone of his voice and everything, and he didn't think he needed surgery, but I don't think it's real good right now, that's for sure. Red Sox Guardians are coming up in 11 minutes from now. I will give you the lineups when we come back, but I also got to tell you about the note that the jerk left on my car today. That's right. Somebody left me a note on my car. I hope you're listening so I can defend myself. Show yourself. I will defend myself and tell you why the note that I was given was not right. That's coming up next after CBS News on DEV.
This is WDEV. Vermont's news station, owned and operated by the Radio Vermont Group. From the top of Sugarbush, 96.1 FM, WDEV Warren and Waitsfield, 96.5 W243 Barrie, 98.3 W252 CU Montpelier, along with our founding station, AM 550 WDEV Waterbury Montpelier, streaming at WDEV.com. 91 years of serving Vermont, the friendly pioneer, WDEV.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Christopher Cruz in the Washington Bureau. Smoke from wildfires in Canada is making it tough to breathe in some parts of the Northeast. CBS's Matt Piper.
It's a serious situation in New York City.
I don't breathe. A little worried about why they're breathing up today.
Even the FAA is slowing traffic at LaGuardia Airport due to the haze.
I'm Peter King in Syracuse, New York. This is an area with lots of hills, lots of valleys, but it's tough to see much of them because there is so much haze in the air. Local zoo is closed. School districts have canceled all outdoor activities.
Some Major League Baseball games scheduled for tonight have been canceled, and flight operations have been affected in Philadelphia, New York, and Newark, among others.
I'm Allison Keyes in Washington. People in the nation's capital are wearing masks in a way not really seen since COVID-19, and many are coughing. The city says the air quality is very unhealthy and says seniors and young people need to keep outdoor activities short.
CBS News medical contributor Dr. Shalene Gounder says it might be time to dig out your face masks.
If you do have to go outside, wear a mask, an N95 mask. Other types of masks are not going to be adequately protective.
Former Vice President Mike Pence announced his campaign for the presidency with a series of direct attacks on Donald Trump today.
I believe that anyone who puts themselves over the Constitution should never be president of the United States. And anyone who asks someone else to put them over the Constitution should never be president of the United States again.
Pence spoke in Des Moines, Iowa. A successful hernia operation today for the Pope.
Today's surgery lasted 3 hours, and Pope Francis is now expected to remain in the Gemelli Hospital for a few days. All his audiences have been cancelled until June 18th. Sabina Castelfranco, CBS News, Rome.
Today was the final day in the hot seat for Prince Harry. He testified in a London courtroom in his lawsuit against a newspaper that he's accused of hacking his phone. CBS's Vicky Barker.
In 2 days of testimony, Prince Harry described a series of stories revealing such intimate details about his private life they could only, he said, have been obtained through phone hacking or some other illegal method. But the lawyer for the Mirror repeatedly asked him for proof, something Harry couldn't deliver.
The Denver Nuggets are in Miami to face the Heat in Game 3 of the NBA Finals tonight. The series between the 8th-seeded Heat and the top-seeded Nuggets is tied at 1 game apiece. On Wall Street at the close, the Dow up 93 points, that is. S&P 500 down 16. NASDAQ was down almost 1.25%. This is CBS News.
Need hires who dazzle without the hassle? You need Indeed. Their powerful platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Attention Vermonters, the push it, pull it, or tow it sale is back at Lamoille Valley Chevy. Tell them, bro. At Lamoille Valley Chevy, business is rocking. And with a massive selection of new Chevy trucks and SUVs in stock, and over 50 more arriving this month, business is totally back in normal. We have taken in several clean one-owner car, truck, and SUVs, including many Toyotas, Hondas, and Subarus, and we've got to sell them down. Through the end of June, anyone could post or tow any single trade their Lamoille Valley Chevy and get a guaranteed $1,000 minimum trade allowance towards any new in-stock Chevy unit on our lot. Lamoille Valley Chevy will triple your minimum trade allowance to $3,000 towards any pre-owned car, truck, or SUV on the lot. Lamoille Valley Chevy, we have a huge selection of certified pre-owned trucks and SUVs that come with better than new 100,000-mile warranties, and you can get a guaranteed minimum trade allowance of $3,000 on these vehicles too. So get to the push it, pull it, or tow it sale happening right now at Lamoille Valley Chevy, just past Stone Mooresville in the beautiful town of Hyde Park, Vermont. And remember, at Lamoille Valley Chevy, we know price matters.
If it eats and grows, Guy's Farm and Yard stores can feed it well. For your garden and plants, come to Guy's and find all the soils, mulches, and compost. They'll grow better with Guy's. Now for your pets. Good pet food makes all the difference in your pet's health and happiness. That's why Guy's Farm and Yard carries the popular pet foods from Fawn, Signature, and Earthborn, just to name a few. Where else? Guy's Farm and Yard stores. Portland Street, Morrisville, Bear Street, Montpelier, Taft Corners, Williston, and Fairfax Road in St. Albans. And at guysfarmandyard.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack.
You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/FREE. ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Call before you stall. Micho Septic Service will set your liquid waste system up for success with septic tank and sewer services. Family owned and operated since 1980, Micho Septic Service has been dedicated to treating their clients like family. Call today to schedule your free estimate and get on their books for the 2023 season. 802-472-6682. Providing dedicated worry-free assistance regarding your sewer line, portable toilet, and septic needs.
Metro Septic Service and East Harvest. Call before you stall.
Think you know sports better than Brady does? Text in with your thoughts at 802-585-3026.
Now it's back to the Brady Farkas Show on WDEV AM.
All right, I got 3.5 minutes to give you the Red Sox lineups and tell you what happened to me today outside WDEV. So I go in park, right? So if you're in front, right here in front of the building, all along Stowe Street, there are parking spaces here parked on the side, right? You would park horizontally up against the curb, excuse me. There's probably 8 spaces, but it's like if they're all filled, probably 8 spaces. And there's also 2 significant, poles in the way too that are in part of those spaces. So here's what happens. I go and park. I park near the end of the road, like near the end of the strip here on Stowe Street. So about 7 spaces away from WDEV. And I park appropriately behind the guy in front of me. The guy in front of me, look, I'm not paying attention to exactly where he is, but he's parked in front of me. He's the last spot. I pull up appropriately behind him. I'm not so far, I'm not so close to him that he's going to hit my bumper, but I'm also not way far away from him. So I do that at 10:30, 11 o'clock this morning. I go out for lunch at 1 o'clock. There's a note on my car. I'm like, oh, did I get a ticket? No, I didn't get a ticket. I got a note. I got a note from somebody that says, hey, don't take up 2 spaces next time. Park in 1. Buddy, I didn't take up 2 spaces. All I did was park behind the guy in front of me. If that guy's not in the space appropriately to your demands, put the note on his car. But what happened is that by the time that guy clearly saw me or saw my car, the person in front of me had left. So I parked in accordance with him, but then he wasn't there. So now I look like the jerk who's taken up 2 spots. Buddy, I'm just parking how things were looking at 10:30 in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry that when you came in parked, that guy was gone. That's who I based everything off of. So blame the guy who was there 2 hours earlier. Don't blame me. Take your note and go away. Okay? I didn't park poorly. I parked right behind the guy I was supposed to park behind. How they're parked, I don't know. It's kind of like when you park it in the snow, and then eventually when things melt, you start to see, oh, wow, hey, I'm in 2 spots. I'm in 3 spaces. I'm not parked very straight. Kind of the same thing, right? When the Jenga puzzle cars got pulled apart, I looked like the jerk who was parked in the wrong spots. No, I was just parked according to how everyone else had been parked on the street. So there you go. Feel like a Seinfeld episode. Red Sox are 31-30. Cutter Crawford pitches. He's 1-2 with a 3.48. Cleveland's 27-33. Tanner Bibby pitches. He's 1-1 with a 3.20. Verdugo's in right. Yoshida's in left. Turner's the DH. Devers at third. Casas at first. Kike's at short again. Jaron Duran in center. Connor Wong the catcher. And Manuel Valdez is at second. Stephen Kwan leads off for Cleveland. He's in left. Ahmed Rosario's at short. Jose Ramirez at third, Josh Naylor at first, Josh Bell, the DH, Andres Jimenez is at second. Will Brennan had a good day yesterday. He's in right. Mike Zunino is the catcher, and the speedy outfielder Miles Straw is in center. There you go. That's your Red Sox lineup. Sox looking to move to 32-30, looking to get 2 games over 500. Red Sox baseball is coming next. Buster Olney from ESPN will join us tomorrow. We'll talk about said Red Sox here as we will hit June 8th tomorrow. Hard to believe. Go Sox. See you tomorrow on DEV.